Hey guys, 7 WWE Rocks here, and it's been a while. It's been a long time since I reviewed Lucha Underground. I think it was like December, maybe even early January. They took their hiatus. They've been back for a few weeks, but I was busy. I wasn't able to do the reviews, but I am here now to review Lucha Underground, the July 12th, 2017 edition, where the second round of the Cueto Cup continues. So the Cueto Cup, of course, the winner gets a shot at the Lucha Underground World Championship at Ultima Lucha Trace, the big, like the big WrestleMania for Lucha Underground. So it was a good one. The opening round, the opening matches for any big tournament these past few weeks, any big tournament has the opening rounds. It's not the most exciting thing in the world because if it's this huge tournament, you see a lot of guys you don't really see that much in the company, and it's usually a guy that's much better versus a jobber or someone that you know is not going to win. So it's not the most exciting thing. It's usually, one of the guys you know is easily going to go on. As the second as the second round start, that's where it starts getting into nitty gritty stuff. We see awesome, dream matches and guys really fighting for this tournament, and we don't know who's going to win. So the second round is always much more fun in a wrestling tournament. And I think tonight's episode really showed that. It got really exciting, and only had 3 matches, sadly. Usually they have more than that, but they had some, talking and backstage segments here and there. But let's get right into it. I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time, but I do thank you so much for listening to this Lucha Underground review. I really love doing these, and I was sad I had to take a break when they did the hiatus and stuff. So let's get right into it. The opening first we got, that previously on Lucha Underground type deal, where they showed like stuff we hadn't seen in a while. So, whatever storyline that was showing the previously clips, you're like, oh, okay, they're going to do something with it tonight. So cool. That always happens with shows like that. But kicked it off with a second round match, of course, in the Cueto Cup. All the matches were from the Cueto Cup. Jeremiah Crane versus Taya. So yes, it was Matt Stryker says Taya versus Jeremiah. And in like most matches with like a girl versus a guy, there's always that guy where they're a little hesitant to hit the girl. They don't want to hurt them. They're a little scared too, they're a little easier. They do arm drags. They don't do punches and stuff, That was not the case in this match because Jeremiah Crane, I think he was excited to hit a girl. I really do, because he pummeled her during this match. It's like that Malcolm in the Middle episode where Malcolm's brother Reese is wrestling for the school, and he has to wrestle a girl, and so his family's in the audience. And they're like, they can't expect Reese to, fight a girl. That's just stupid. That's ridiculous. And it shows Reese, and he's like, awesome, I get to fight a girl. That's how I think Jeremiah Crane was, because he was ready to just destroy her. And the match kicked off with him just giving her, he was running, he charges her, she stops him, just makes him stop, scream stomp. She slaps him in the face. He does a big bicycle kick and just knocks her out to the outside. Does a suicide dive that I think almost kills her. And then, to make matters worse, he tells the crowd to move, parts the crowd like Moses, and puts her on one of these chairs where, all the Lucha Underground fans sit, on this big group of chairs. He runs around the ring to get some steam, to get, really charged up, and he cannonballs her while she's sitting in the chair, and it looks like he just demolishes her and everything in his path. It looked pretty insane. I couldn't believe he did that, honestly. So when they're on the outside, he's still fighting. I think Rick Knox is the ref. He's counting the 10 count really slow. Taya somehow gets to the top of his guardrail. I don't know what Jeremiah Crane was going for when he was setting her up, but she gets to the top of the guardrail where, to separate the fans a little higher up. Not too high up, but a little high up. Dives off of it, does a crossbody, and she has the advantage. But when they get back in the ring, Jeremiah Crane gets the advantage. He puts her in the corner, seats her down in the corner. You know how Samoa Joe does that like face foot wash thing? That's what he was doing. And then he runs to the opposite side of the ring, bounces off the ropes, comebacks, just destroys her with a boot right in her face while she's seated, just knocking it out of the park. And somehow that freaking fired her up. She gets up. She starts clotheslining him, throwing him down. She does a double knees to his face in the corner. That fired her up. When I get punched, if I get punched in the face, does that ever happen? I'm hitting the floor. That's what's happening. I'm not getting up. I'm crying. That's what's happening with me. But no, that fires her up. She starts beating the crap out of him. Then they get into a slapping match that was like really crazy. She slaps them, good slaps. She's really, laid it in. And then freaking Crane just starts smacking her, just beating her. Like, okay, this is serious. This is some like Candice LeRae stuff. This is terrifying. He just starts smacking the crap out of her. So that was pretty insane. It got really exciting. You kind of forget that he's versing a woman. I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but I mean, that's what I think Taya and the Eva Lises and the Candice LeRae's, the Joey Ryans, that's what they're trying to do, make us forget that it's a woman versus a guy. No, dude, I totally bought it, that she was taking this punishment, and she could lay it in just as much as Jeremiah Crane could. So they were just beating the crap out of each other, and that was really awesome. So Taya somehow gets the advantage. I forget how after the slapping match, but she goes to the top rope. Oh, this is how. I remember. Jeremiah Crane picks her up for like an Alabama slam. She gets her hands on the top ropes, like twirls around, does like a Canadian destroyer to him. She reverses it beautifully. So she climbs the top rope, and Sexy Star comes out to distract her. So Sexy Star, she was knocked out of the tournament by PJ Black defeating her, but it was because Taya threw in brass knuckles. Sexy Star gets a hold of him, so the ref is like, oh, you punch PJ Black with the brass knuckles, so I have to disqualify you. So that's how she gets knocked out. So it looks like she's trying to return the favor, but she doesn't really distract her because Taya gets rolled up, but then but kicks out of it. So it's like, oh man, I thought that would be the finish of it. But no, that's not what happened. Freaking Jeremiah Crane picks her up and does like a J driller, the like pedigree butterfly, like tombstone, or yeah, pile driver. That's how he wins the match. Just basically kills her. And Sexy Star comes out and knocks her out with brass knuckles. So she returned the favor. She used the brass knuckles this time and just, slammed it right into Taya. So Sexy Star gets her revenge, but I'm sure this feud is far from over. So next, we went to a backstage segment where Phoenix and Aerostar were talking about Drago and how, he's betrayed them or whatever, but he'll break out of this and he'll come back to the good side. And basically, they talked about Aerostar being a time traveler, so he should already know, but he didn't really say anything. And then Phoenix says, hey, do I win my match tonight? And Aerostar smiles and gives him the thumbs up. So, back to the future, guys. Aerostar's a time traveler. Cool. But that was all that talking segment was. Next, we got Mil Muertes versus the leader of the Rabbit Tribe, Paul freaking London. Paul London is the bee's knees. I love that, man. And this was a fun match. This is what you expect. The big, huge dude versus the kind of smaller dude. So the smaller dude gets a little offense in here and there, but the big guy, just pummels them a lot. So that's really what happened. But really far in depth into this match because that's what it was. But later in the match, it was really funny. They got to the outside. Paul London on the outside does 6 consecutive super kicks that would freaking make the Young Bucks like really happy. I mean, just 6 awesome super kicks, and the other Rabbit Tribe members, I forget their names, which is sad because I've met one of them, but the one that wears like the black and white checkered outfit and the other one, they come out and they just run through the ropes in the ring. Like while they're fighting on the outside, they run in the ropes. They do absolutely nothing to help Paul London. That's not even distracting Mil Muertes because he's too busy getting super kicked in the face. They just run through and they run out. That's what they did. I love that. I love that there's like no point to them really. That that's what the Rabbit Tribe is. They just do random weird stuff. And I really enjoy that when they do that. So they did that, and then they ended up doing it again to get Mil Muertes actually distracted, but he grabs one of them, knocks him out, and so that did distract him. So the second time's the charm, and actually distracted him. And he runs towards London in the corner after getting distracted by these guys, and London puts his feet up, gets a big boot. Then he does a beautiful shooting star press from the second rope. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, from the second rope, not even from the top. He slams down, gets the 1, 2, doesn't get the 3, climbs back up, does a shooting star press again, but this time from the top rope. Paul London, he's awesome. I mean, like I know he's so good, yet every time he surprised me. Like I didn't think he'd pull out 2 shooting star presses right there, but sadly, it was not enough. He couldn't get the win. Mil Muertes ends up spearing him freaking like to hell with that trident spear he does. Picks him up, gets the flatliner, and Paul London, he's out, which really makes me sad. But I would love to see like a whole Rabbit Tribe versus Mil Muertes feud. because I think they could do some fun stuff there. And it looked like that's what they could lead into. I'm sad Paul London's out, but it was a fun match. It was funny to see. And Mil Muertes moves on. Moving on, we have Tejano and beautiful Brenda at the bar together. This is a backstage segment, obviously. And I don't know, this feud's kind of stupid. It's basically Famous B wants to, like, recruit Tejano, but I think he's really just trying to screw him. Basically, beautiful Brenda says they have a few drinks or whatever, and beautiful Brenda is like, I'm tipsy. You know, when I'm tipsy, I tell the truth. So she's basically whoring it up is what I'm getting at. And so she's just like, you know, you're awesome or whatever, but you're really dull and boring. So he takes the beer bottle and just smashes it in his own hands. And she's like, calm down, calm down. You just need a woman's touch. And so we see Famous B off stalking it up, and he's like doing the reeling it in motion, you know. He's like, yeah, she's got this. So, well, okay, I could care less is what I'm getting at, basically. But, yeah. Marty the Moth Martinez versus Phoenix. So, Phoenix advanced from the opening rounds when he defeated Marty's sister, Mariposa. So, she was outside the ring. Now, basically, this match... So Phoenix has Melissa Santos as his love interest, is what, you know, that's what's really going on in the storyline. And Marty the Moth is like obsessed with Melissa. He's like got this whole shrine in his like weird dungeon, and he's just really creepy, just a real stalker dude. And so Phoenix, this entire match, basically Mariposa sticks her big head in the way, and she grabs Phoenix every chance she gets. So she grabs him by the feet twice to like stop his, you know, running motion and whatever. And freaking Marty beats the crap out of him, takes his mask, like rips it, just starts beating him and beating him, beating him. Oh, yeah. Before the match started, Marty the Moth had a little lunchbox with some weird food in it. And while Melissa Santos was announcing Phoenix coming to the ring, he just starts shoving food in her mouth, and she's spitting it at him. It's just a weird thing. Like, sometimes, like, I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm watching wrestling, but this is some weird obsession. This is terrifying. So basically, he's shoving food in her mouth. But then during the match, they're beating the crap out of him. Freaking Mariposa's got the lunchbox to beat him with, and she's beating on Phoenix while the ref's distracted, basically screwing him the entire time. So nothing too crazy happened this match. I mean, it was pretty much Marty just beating the crap out of Phoenix and Mariposa distracting him. But he did do a really cool move, Marty the Moth. He like did this like reverse powerbomb position, you know, like you got him for not a powerbomb, excuse me. Reverse power slam. So it's like Phoenix's stomach is pointing towards the ceiling or whatever. And so when he comes to slam him down, he does like a code breaker style. It was really cool. I probably explained it horribly, but it was really nice. Go back and watch that if you want, if it's on YouTube or whatever. That was probably my favorite part of the match. But towards the end, freaking Mariposa has a lunchbox. She's about to smack it on Phoenix while the ref's distracted. And Melissa Santos, she's seen enough. She grabs Mariposa by the arms, says, you know, no, enough, Marty, stop. You're not doing this. Get out of my way. Matt Stryker freaked out on commentary for this. It was like an insane moment. Fans start chanting for Melissa. She stopped Mariposa. That distracts Marty. Phoenix does an awesome roll-up, gets the 1, 2, 3. Phoenix wins the match, but Marty just like starts beating the crap out of him with a lunchbox. And I thought that was it. I was like, okay, he beats him off, they run away, whatever. He takes his lunchbox, grabs a fork. Now, to the normal man, the fork excites me because that means I'm going to be eating something, and I like to eat. But in the wrestling world, when you see a guy pull out a fork, you know it's about to go down. Just ask, like, Tommy Dreamer when AJ Styles did it to him. But freaking Marty pulls out a fork, stabs Phoenix because his mask is like exposed, or his head's exposed because his mask has been ripped off. Not ripped completely off, but it's like been ripped. And so just starts stabbing the fork in his forehead. And I'm like, this is murder, guys. Oh my gosh. So he's just stabbing him. And Mariposa grabs Melissa and forces her to watch. This is some sick stuff, guys. El Rey Network, you're terrifying me. But yeah, he's just stabbing the fork. He's bleeding all over the place. And that's how the episode ends, with Phoenix lying on the freaking ring mat with blood all around him. Just Melissa, like, you know, consoling him and grabbing him and, like, you know, making sure he's okay because he's probably dead. Lucha Underground, that can happen. People can die. Characters are killed off. But that's how it ends. So Marty and Mariposa, that was some big heel heat. That actually had me, like, not excited, but I was pissed. I was like, dang, I hope Phoenix kicks the crap out of him now. That's really what I'm hoping. And he's so high fly that I hope he can, like, really pull in some, like, aggression and stuff. So that was Lucha Underground. That's how it ended. No, like, after thing, like after segment or whatever outside or backstage. So that's how it was. Second round's going to continue next week with 3 other matches. I really hope it starts picking up, though. I mean, it's been good. I would have had Jeremiah Crane versus Taya main event. Well, probably not because of fork finish. That's great. But it was a solid show. But I just hope the once they get to the higher up rounds, the matches start getting really, really crazy, and we see some dream matches. And I hope it's all worth it. I hope whoever wins is like, okay, that's cool. I'm glad he's the winner. But we'll see. So if you watched Lucha Underground tonight, let me know what you thought of the show, and thank you so much for listening to my review. I'm sorry if I talked really fast. Sometimes I just get real excited and I just start talking really, really fast. I know that's a problem with my videos, but hopefully it didn't bother you. Hopefully you could still understand what I was saying. And just thank you so much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Follow me on Twitter @7WWERocks. I'm hoping to continue the Lucha Undergrounds for like a few weeks. Not a few weeks. I'm hoping for a much longer, but once school starts again in like September or whatever, I might have to pull it back, but we'll see. So let me know what you thought of the whole show. Let me know how you think I can improve my reviews. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, have a great day.